All praises, all praises, all praises to the heavenly, holy, almighty creator of infinity. Good evening, family. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit. How are you? I have missed you. I am glad to be in your presence to make presentation in the greatest of the honor and humility and the privilege and the pleasure to be before you in love as we share in the information of the nation as we continue with the initiation of our reconciliation. All praises into my family, the 12 tribes scattered abroad wherever they may sojourn, and the pending Israelites of the world. How are you? I love you. My continuous petition and prayer for your care and safety. And family, we are convening and converging once again so that we may go over the distraction, satisfaction, and as the times and the news and the information and the snippets and the rumors and the tirades and the rants are abounding, we are now coming across more information that provides clarity to the nation. So we are now seeing who are the innocent sheep, who are the vicious wolves, who are the cunning foxes, and who are the wicked serpents within the nation, within the country, as we are looking at the purveying of the prevailing views of the news. And so, as we continue with this evening's manifestation of the information, we will get some clarity on some of the actions that have perplexed some of our brothers, most namely Brother Bill Cosby and Brother R. Kelly and Brother Michael Jackson and Brother Jussie Smollett. And so we will go down the line of the divine so that we can unwind and to distinguish the fact from the fiction. And so we shall begin, and we give this honor to our brother Michael Jackson, who has been besieged and beset in his time of rest with the rumor of pedophilia and sexual debauchery against minors and toddlers and children, the innocents. And so, family, tonight I bring before you the FBI report in revised version so we can get some clarity on the actual investigation that took place that substantiated Brother Michael Jackson's claims that he was innocent. And so the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, investigative files released on Michael Jackson. In response to the Freedom of Information Act requests, the Bureau has released its investigative files on the late entertainer Michael Jackson, who died earlier this year. So family, this is dated December 22nd, 2009. The records total 333 pages, divided into 7 files. They detail the FBI's investigation of a man who threatened to kill Jackson, as well as various forms of assistance to California authority in 2 cases involving allegations that Jackson had abused children. It should be emphasized that none of these allegations were ever proven in court. The files are available on the Freedom of Information Act privacy website, but here's a quick rundown of what they contain. The first file was opened by the Los Angeles FBI office when it was asked to lead a federal case against a California man already under arrest for sending numerous threatening letters. The man, who falsely claimed to be the son of mobster John Gotti, had staked out Jackson's house and threatened to kill him, the U.S. president, and others. He was ruled incompetent to stand trial and sent to prison for 2 years. The second and third files involved the Bureau's support of local law enforcement. In 1993, the Los Angeles and the Santa Barbara police departments formed a task force to investigate an allegation that Jackson had molested a young boy. FBI Field Division in Los Angeles and New York, as well as Bureau overseas offices in Manila and London, provided assistance in that case. Investigators gathered public records on Jackson, interviewed a potential witness, and followed various other leads. The FBI assisted Los Angeles Police Department detectives who traveled to the Philippines to interview possible witnesses and shared news reports from London about a potential victim. The U.S. attorney declined to pursue a federal investigation, including a possible violation of the Mann Act, transporting a minor across state lines for immoral purposes, and no charges were filed by the state. The fourth file concerns a 1995 request by a U.S. Customs agent in Florida that the Bureau examine a VHS videotape connected with Jackson to see if it contained child pornography. Forensic specialists discovered that the tape was a poor quality third or fourth generation recording and informed the Customs Services of their findings. In 2003, Jackson was charged by the state of California with molestation and other counts. The final three files detail the Bureau's support to local law enforcement during the ensuing investigation. The first of these files described an FBI response to a Los Angeles Police Department request to analyze computers and digital media obtained from Jackson's home under court warrant. The second involves a request by the Santa Barbara County District Attorney to help and guidance from behavior analysts in the FBI's Critical Incidents Response Group. In the last of the three files, the FBI agent from Los Angeles traveled to New York to interview a potential witness. The agent found this individual unwilling to cooperate and closed the matter. The case went to court in 2005, and Jackson was acquitted of all charges. All right, family, that was the official revised version of the FBI investigative files compiled against Brother Michael Jackson. And you must remember that the file actually began after his explosion onto the world scene with his 1979 release of the record Off of the Wall. So Brother Jackson has been under constant federal review, scrutiny, and surveillance, and he was never brought to charge. And so we must blow away the smoke of the distraction and the satisfaction that the media is pressing before us. And we continue on with the respect due to our elder brother, Bill Cosby, and an unfolding development in a case against him as he continues to fight the power with his stance against the man in his current incarceration on a trial of heresy and hearsay. The U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday declined to review a case brought by Bill Cosby accuser Catherine McKee, who alleged being defamed when Bill Cosby's attorneys characterized her story of being raped 4 decades ago as a fabricated lie. In writing the concurring opinion for the court, Justice Clarence Thomas states, "We did not begin meddling in this area until 1964, nearly 175 years after the First Amendment was ratified. The states are perfectly capable of striking an acceptable balance between encouraging robust public discourse and providing a meaningful remedy for reputational harm. We should reconsider our jurisprudence in this area." The denial comes 5 months after the comedian was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison for aggravated indecent assault. Before finally weighing in on McKee's case, the justices deferred consideration nearly a dozen times over the course of several months. A move a Hollywood reporter speculated could have been the result of sensitivity surrounding the Capitol Hill confirmation fight over Brett Kavanaugh, who himself was accused of sexual misconduct. McKee is a former LA morning talk show host who alleges Cosby raped her in 1974 in a Detroit hotel room while she was on tour with Sammy Davis Jr., her boyfriend at the time. Cosby has consistently denied all the allegations against him. The question presented in McKee's petition was whether a victim of sexual misconduct who merely publicly states that she was victimized has thrust herself to the forefront of a public debate in an attempt to influence the outcome, thereby becoming a limited purpose public figure who loses her right to recover for defamation absent a showing of actual malice by clear and convincing evidence. Cosby's attorneys presented the question a little differently. Whether an actress who uses her celebrity status to gain access to national media outlets in order to publicly accuse an international entertainer already in the midst of a public controversy concerning allegations against him of additional misconduct is a limited purpose public figure for purposes of defamation analysis. In defamation law, plaintiffs must demonstrate actual malice on the part of a public figure, defendants, in order to prevail in a defamation claim. The precedent was established under the 1964 New York Times Company versus Sullivan decision and has been extended via several similar cases brought before the court during the intervening 55 years. Per Justice Thomas, like many plaintiffs subject to this almost impossible standard, McKee was unable to make that showing. Applied here, that would mean the statement by Cosby's ex-attorney, Marty Singer, in response to press reports of the alleged rape of McKee by Cosby was knowingly false or had recklessly disregarded the truth, according to the Hollywood Reporter. I agree with the court's decision not to take up that fabricated question. I write to explain why, in an appropriate case, we should reconsider the precedent that required courts to ask in it the first place, writes Thomas. New York Times and the court's decision extending it were policy-driven decisions masquerading as constitutional law. Instead of simply applying the First Amendment as it was understood by the people who ratified it, the court fashioned it in its own federal rules by balancing the competing values at stake in defamation suits. In 2017, the First Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that McKee was a public figure and that she couldn't demonstrate actual malice. I am grateful to the United States Supreme Court and to the federal courts in Massachusetts for upholding the law in this case. I thank each of the justices for their ruling, which gives me renewed hope that a fair and impartial court in this country will go on to deliver justice, Cosby said in a statement released through his publicist on Tuesday. This is the very reason why I, Bill Cosby, have no remorse, because I am innocent and will continue to channel the strength of the great political prisoners. Finally, the truth is being allowed to be heard and read by the public, Cosby said. Oh yes, family. And we are seeing the fortitude of an elder standing on principle as the continuation of the truth unveils itself, and all those who fall victim to it are being crushed. And we continue on with the updates to the events in this satisfaction of the distraction and the distraction of satisfaction, as we are now reviewing the recent events against brother R. Kelly. Michael Avenatti's indictment raises questions in R. Kelly's case. R. Kelly lawyers believe Michael Avenatti's arrest on federal extortion charges could torpedo the singer's sex abuse case, according to the report Tuesday. Steve Greenberg is calling into question the chain of custody of the alleged sex tape believed to be the smoking gun in the case against Kelly, TMZ reported. He said there's a possibility that the tape, which allegedly shows the R&B star engaged in a sex act with a minor, could have been altered before landing in prosecutors' hands. Avenatti, who represents several of Kelly's alleged victims and their families, got the damning evidence from a person who extorted Kelly before. Sources told the gossip site recently. The man recently confessed to Chicago prosecutors that the I Believe I Can Fly singers team forked over about $1 million to prevent the tape from going public in the past, raising the question of how the recording wound up in Avenatti's possession. Avenatti said he turned over 2 sex tapes to prosecutors, but Greenberg told TMZ he's only aware of 1. Kelly, facing 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse of 4 victims, including 3 minors. Avenatti, meanwhile, was arrested Monday on charges that he tried to extort more than $20 million from Nike by threatening to release damaging information about the sneaker giant, according to court papers. Oh, wow, family. So we are seeing the utter wickedness of some of these players in the public, these lawyers. Michael Avenatti, who represented one of the, professional women who had engagements intimately with our President of the United States. So he is intertwined into some very intimate detail and information about some high-powered people within the nation. Very interesting as how this will play out in the federal circuit with the extortion case and other associated charges against a multi-billion, multinational company. All right, Michael, good luck to you. And R. Kelly, continue to stay strong and stand on your principle. And finally, family, we are getting to the current update on brother Jussie Smollett and his charges of being victimized as a hate crime and then been tried in the public and called all kinds of names and spoken of illegitimately in terms of his character and his actions and intentions. And so we shall see with all of the, or what all of the brouhaha and the woo-ha-ha and the bing bang and the biddy and the boom is, as it is reported today. Today, all criminal charges against Jussie Smollett were dropped, and his record has been wiped clean of the filing of this tragic complaint against him, Smollett's attorney Patricia Brown Holmes said in a statement to the Wrap Tuesday. Jussie was attacked by 2 people he was unable to identify January 29th. He was a victim who was vilified and made to appear as a perpetrator as a result of false and inappropriate remarks made to the public, causing an inappropriate rush to judgment. Jussie and many others were hurt by these unfair and unwarranted actions, she continued. This entire situation is a reminder that there should never be an attempt to prove a case in the court of public opinion. That is wrong. It is a reminder that a victim, in this case, Jussie, deserves dignity and respect. Dismissal of charges against the victim in this case was the only just result. Jussie is relieved to have this situation behind him and is very much looking forward to getting back to focusing on his family, friends, and career. Smollett surrendered himself to Chicago police on February 21st, hours after he was formally charged. He was released from police custody later that afternoon after posting bail and surrendering his passport following a bond hearing, and quickly returned to work on the set of Empire. However, the following day, executive producers said they had decided to remove Smollett from the final 2 episodes of the show's current season. Representatives from Empire Network, Fox, and Studio 20th Century Fox had no comment when reached by the Wrap Tuesday. During a press conference last month, hours after Smollett's February 21st surrender, Chicago PD Superintendent Eddie Johnson said that the actor staged an attack on himself because he was dissatisfied with his salary. He also told reporters the police were in possession of a $3,500 check, which he said Smollett used to pay brothers Olabingo and Ambabola Asudero for the incident. The Asuderos were released without charges February 15th, following an arrest and a 48-hour hold after the police said new evidence had emerged and that the investigation's trajectory had changed course. Smollett was arrested a few days later. Our son and brother is an innocent man whose name and character has been unjustly smeared, the Smollett family said in a statement Tuesday. Jussie is a son, a brother, a partner, a champion for human rights, and a genuine soul who would never be capable of what he was falsely accused of. He was the victim of an assault and then falsely blamed for his own attack. This morning, truth has prevailed and he has been vindicated. All charges have been dismissed and his record expunged. The painful incidents we've witnessed him endure over the past 7 weeks have been heartbreaking and unjust, to say the least. While many were quick to rush to judgment before hearing the actual truth, we are grateful that the truth about Jussie has come to light. We look forward to bringing the real perpetrators to justice. We thank God and our village for standing by us during this trying time. Mark Garagos, another Smollett attorney, released a statement on Twitter as well. Today, all criminal charges against Jussie Smollett were dismissed by the prosecution. The prosecution too. Jussie's record has been wiped clean. Jussie was attacked by 2 people he was unable to identify. He was the victim and was victimized again in a rush to judgments. Apologies accepted. So family, we see the continuous reverberation and agitation of the fake, false, alternative, or true, or however you receive this information. And so we just wanted to put an update on the satisfaction of distraction and the distraction of satisfaction, so we can continue to strengthen our view from the pineal to the pituitary, so that we may continue to blow away the ignorance and the savagery and the wickedness perpetrated on those of the holy nation. And so family, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. And until we are together again, to be continued. Have a good night.